defensive support, and the armor synergy between the two of them ain't too shabby, I'd have to say.
It's good versus the Wyvern ultimate as well.
Oh,
having
yes.
the dazzle.
So, outside of that though,
I'm kind of sad that Tusk banned out. Obviously, when you look at Mineski, you kind of want them to pick the heroes that they have won most with over this patch, that they've been most successful with, and Winter Wyvern is one of those. Wyvern, sorry, but Vici Gaming already snatched that one, and then Tusk already got first banned, because obviously that is one of Mineski's most strong hero. Now, one hero that we haven't seen too much this tournament just yet, we have seen her a few times, Wind Ranger, very successful, 80% win rate with 10 games played on this patch for Mineski, so hopefully that will be something that we'll see from them.
They don't really utilize Ember a lot though. I feel like Ember is one of those heroes that all the stronger teams or more successful teams have been utilizing the hero a lot lately because of how strong the hero is. This is just a very classic Mineski hero. They don't get the NS, they'll just go for the BH.
I wonder if we can see Vici Gaming creep in a Brood. I just wanted to get it out there before, you know, it's too late. No second phase van.
They have the Darks here though, so I'm not so
right.
sure because it's the same position. But we did actually saw one game where
position Darks here, yeah.
Who was it? The other day they had Doom and they had Spirit Breaker, but they still went for Brood, so they went safe lane, basically safe lane Doom, and they just wanted to fit in a Brood because the enemy team. It was against Mineski because Mineski went for a Drow lineup.
Oh. And another game we did see 4-position Darkseer. So
5 seconds remaining.
not Outrun, but you are right. Typically, will not probably.
Typically, it doesn't really happen too much. But
so what do you deal with? What do you do to deal with the bounty hunter then?
This is typical. This is just classic. You go Darkseer, Ember, and Wyvern. Like usually, these three heroes together are, for me, it's like the strongest combination you can get in the meta right now.
Boring though. Seen it enough. It's getting a bit stale, but I understand it is a winning combo.
Can't argue a bit with the results, even though it's boring.
No, you're right. Of course,
That's
of
true.
course. Same with like a Razor. You know, I'm getting sick of Razor, but he seems to bring in
why
some
are you
of the
sick
wins.
with Razor?
It's boring.
Because he's
Liquid is the only team playing the hero.
Remaining.
So, more than enough.
Everyone is playing Ember Spirit, so I can understand if you're sick of it.
But at least Ember is one of those heroes that makes plays. He chases people,
He's
he catches
flashy.
people, he's flashy,
Oh,
he's
so flashy.
he's fun to watch. He makes things happen. Razor's not
Razor's
that
like,
much of a
yeah,
hero, even if
zap.
he only plays one game.
I can agree with that.
That won't change.
So you guys, I guess you guys don't like Viper as well. You don't like Veno.
I'd like Feno actually, mostly because I like the hero myself a lot, and I like to play it, and I like how you can play around with getting the words vision up with the plague words, and that actually makes him a lot of fun to watch as a support player. I don't know. You just look at those kind of things, I guess.
I have a question for you, Winner. Why don't we see any more of that support Naga?
Because of the nerf to Riptide.
Yeah,
Like
that's
at level 1,
significant,
that's
huh?
actually really significant because it
remaining.
weakens her laning phase a lot at level 1. So Mineski just going back for their classic heroes like Queen of Pain plus SF, something the old secret popularized a lot.
DAC.
So they have very strong lanes right now with the SB, SF. I'm not sure if they want to actually lane SF mid or Queen of Pain mid. Maybe they're going to just use Queen of Pain against the Darkseer and then have the SF in the middle lane and you just keep stacking for him and you roam the BH. Because I feel like if you're roaming the BH and you have a SB off lane, the Queen of Pain in mid would provide a lot of pressure to the opposing mid laner. Because you have constant kill potential compared to a SF. SF, you just want to focus on raising the crit wave and go back into the jungle. You don't really put as much pressure on the opposing mid lane as a Queen of Pain.
Reserve time.
So we might actually see Mineski do that, but if you go by history, they are probably more likely to put Queen of Pain on safe lane. So we'll see how they actually lane their heroes. But for Vici right now, they need a mid laner plus a secondary support.
The superhero.
Alchemist?
Oh.
He has been playing a lot of Alchemist though recently, but that was with the Undying combo with the Morphling.
I mean, Alchemist, if it tends to be the matchup against Shadow Fiend, I feel like Alchemist usually gets the upper hand. Acid Spray seems to be a big nuisance to a Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, but they don't really have a lineup that can utilize the Axe upgrade from Alchemist.
Darkseer. And then maybe their 5th pick, but yeah. Super's one to play Razor as well.
Mineski actually lost twice in a row yesterday against an Alchemist, so they might have some nightmares with that hero.
Wasn't it against Liquid, right?
It was, yeah.
Oh, Liquid played Alchemist?
Yeah,
Liquid twice in a row.
Twice in a row.
Fada
Who played
mid.
it? Fada did?
Fada,
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Radiance.
Really?
5
I've never
seconds
seen Fada play
Not
Alchemist. Yeah. Oh,
There's the Viper.
Oh, just another one.
I'm not too sad about it. Viper can make for some fun lane situations if people try to gank him, because he's really difficult to gank, but you kind of also don't want to let him just do his thing too much. That being said, both Queen of Pain and Shadow Fiend, regardless on who they're going to put mid on it, should be doing okay.
They're
10
gonna have a
seconds
no. I think Queen of Pain would struggle against Viper.
Yeah?
SF is fine, but Queen of Pain would struggle.
5
But even
seconds
SF,
remaining.
you might lose the lane if you actually get pressure a lot. Like the first few wave is very crucial. But when SF reaches level 5, then the lane becomes okay against Viper. But before that, the Viper might be able to dominate the SF. But then again, SF, you know, they have the bounty and the SV, so he might have a lot of help in the lane. So he might just be able to do fine. But then again, Viper
10
also has help
seconds
from the
remaining.
Wyvern.
Yeah.
We always see Wyvern at the middle lane with the Arctic Burn. So,
5 seconds
I mean,
remaining.
laning wise, I feel Viper's more likely to limit a lot of the options that Mineski has.
Yeah.
Because
Reserve
before that, I was
time.
talking about you can actually lane the Queen mid, but with the Viper pickup, it feels like you don't really want to
Radiant team
go for the Queen versus Viper matchup. You rather have the SF versus the Viper.
A silencer now coming out. We'll see it the second time straight. We just saw it in
Yeah.
the last series.
It was really good versus Ember,
Yeah.
I think in general, and it's good versus defensive supports like a reactive type of support like Wyvern.
But why are you going for a silencer over something like, you know, Disruptor, let's say? That also offers a
I
bit
think
of
it's
control and
because
silence.
it's more synergy with SB, because you're charging in, you might not be there as a
Mhm.
silencer or a support player,
Okay.
so you can actually help the SB get a good initiation by just casting your
10
global, so it's
Fair
much
enough.
easier to execute.
It does put a lot on his ultimate. You
5
know, it's a
seconds
long
remaining.
cooldown. It doesn't have to work. And
Oh, the
yeah, girl.
I like
wait,
that
who's
hero.
the support hero?
It's gonna
Rider
be that
jungling?
4-position Darkseer again? No.
No,
No,
as
jungling
Isaac
back rider.
Jungling Batrider, I think.
Jungling.
But if we're talking
Batrider.
about Playmaker heroes, Batrider is one of those.
But isn't it weird if you do jungling versus a bounty hunter? I guess it's
his
dual
jungling
lane. I
is
think
just
it's
not
dual-
good anymore, isn't it?
I think dual lane. You can jungle from the start, but it's slower. But I feel like they have a secondary plan maybe to pressure with Darkseer. You Iron Shell and you keep constantly spamming napalms and Iron Shell. You pressure the lane and you try to steal the enemy jungle because then you limit their support movement. They can't stack for SF. And they're always constantly forced to help the lane. I think that might be a
Should
better play for Vici. I'm not sure if that is actually their plan, but it seems to me jungling Batrider might be punished by the roaming BH.
I just figured his jungling just wasn't what it
Yeah.
used to be, and you have to at least build up a couple of levels, and
10
even then, it
seconds
just doesn't
remaining.
really start off the way it used to. I'm
5 seconds
very
remaining.
interested in this. It's a bold draft here from Vici Gaming. They're in a more comfortable position than Mineski is, but this is very comfortable for him. So we'll see if it works out for him. We are going to be leading off with a bit of a pause here, but we are going to go ahead and throw it over to our two handsome casters right now. It's the BTS duo, LD and GoDz. Gentlemen.
Well, thank you very much, Coddle Guy. GoDz, welcome to a pause. Vici Gaming versus Mineski. Important match here. Should Vici Gaming get 2-0'd? I believe you said they are out of the tournament.
Yes, that's the one, I think, and only scenario where Mineski advance, as if they 2-0 this, and then they go from being eliminated to knocking Vici Gaming out in the group stage. Vici Gaming coming in as one of the scariest teams, I feel, one of the kind of tournament favorites, but they've only got draws so far, and unfortunately due to the point system, it means you're only sitting on 3 points right now in the case of Vici Gaming. Mineski on 1 point, a win would boost them up to 4, and they would surpass Vici. So, important game, but Vici Gaming still heavy favorites coming in.
What do you make of the Batrider Darkseer? We've seen like, a few teams experiment. I remember there was a Bloodseeker Darkseer dual lane a month or so ago that you and I cast where I think we didn't like the way they executed it, but they start off as a dual lane, they put some pressure on the lane, they get levels on the Darkseer. I think at level 3 he kind of swooped off into the jungle and basically it became a solo lane. Do you see that as the way Vici Gaming look to play this? Like start off as a dual lane, then one of them goes jungle? Do they just stay as a dual lane and pressure? Do they try to start the Darkseer off in the woods right away? What's the plan here if you're Vici, do you think?
It's hard to read. I think running a straight up level 1 jungler really gives you incredibly weak lanes. I don't think that's going to be really an option for Vici Gaming, so more likely we see them start with the Darkseer bat. Darkseer is probably the one of the two heroes who's more likely to be able to roam and pressure someone like mid, kind of contest the enemy jungle a bit. Once Bat gets levels, that's where he is one of the best heroes for stealing enemy stacks. So SF at mid has to be careful about if he's stacking up that big camp too much, the Batrider could swoop in at the right time and get a big boost of money taken away from Mineski.
All right, away we go. Game number 1 has begun. Mineski, they need the 2-0, and give them credit, GoDz. They are sticking to their guns. This is just a cookie-cutter Mineski draft. The strong mid-game cores, big initiation from the Spirit Breaker, a support that can be disruptive as well in the laning stage for Jesse Vash. And they're not deviating at all from their standard game plan. Whether or not it will work remains to be seen, but They're still confident. It's going to come down to execution, not a need for a change in strategy here.
Dude, I think Jesse Vash just made like a sick fake out. He like ran forward, pretended to ward up the high ground when he didn't even have a ward on himself.
He did it yesterday.
Yeah.
And the enemy actually fell for it and dropped the sentry like way before the rune spawned.
They saw that shadow walk though, or maybe even heard the animation. So
just rage eats a tree.
Yeah, that was like a really cool move. But something you just don't see that much of is where you kind of poke your head into the tower side and then pretend that you're warding when in reality they actually used both their wards with a level 1 TP. So both Spirit Breaker top and the support silencer bottom TP to get down early observer wards.
With the mid sentry, it's not that crazy because you probably want a sentry mid anyway for the bounty, but it's still nice to force it out early. So it's gone sooner. You know they've planted one there, and especially if you can get them to plant a sentry somewhere that's not a high traffic area.
It doesn't seem they were baited out by it yet because it hasn't been dewarded. Haven't seen the sentry go down. And if they put a sentry down, like you say, it may just be for the bounty himself.
They may have seen. Who knows? Maybe they saw the replay or the game yesterday, and I feel like that's not a trick that you can pull off on the regular. You know, you get away with it here or there, but pretty quickly people wise up to what Jesse Vash is all about. But man, GoDz, look at this mid lane. The creep blocks for Raging Potato. This is very tough.
Yeah, and that's like the bounty's worst nightmare as well. Like, how can you harass when they put creep equilibrium up there? Sentry down now as well.
And he didn't skill Braze. He went for this early last hit build.
So
first wave is going to be tough.
This is like a roaming Bat Rider kind of right now. Likely we'll see some stacks being done by him. So far he's had his neutral camp blocked, but very odd choice of hero to kind of roam. And he jungles as well, but you can't do that level 1. Has level 1 napalm, needs to get at least level 2, and even that is still not the best, most kind of efficient farming build that you can have. He needs more levels just out of the lanes.
And as FY well knows, Bounty Hunter can really ruin a jungler's day. And something Winter touched on a bit in the draft, but do you echo a sentiment that this is, because of the Bounty Hunter, just not really feasible? What's the situation where, like, what are the requirements for FY to actually make this work? They need to gank the Bounty?
He wants kills. He's got a sentry and dust, so he's really hoping to run into the Bounty Hunter. If he's ever level 2 and finds the Bounty, he can almost solo kill him with like a couple napalm stacks, Firefly, and you pop a dust, so he gets incredibly slow and can't fight you at all. For the actual, like, he can't jungle at all, so the Bounty's going to prevent him from getting anything out of the jungle. He just needs to kind of leech experience from a lane. He's kind of just a bit of a liability right now for Vici Gaming. All he can do is kind of zone out Ryu right now, as we're seeing,
and Bat's level 1 is just atrocious, so there's no zoning here. There's only love taps.
He's just hoping for like a Bounty Hunter misplay. He's expecting Bounty Hunter to potentially like swoop into one of these lanes and have like, if he comes towards top lane, there's a sentry there which will see him, and then you can get a kill with Arctic Burn plus napalm with the dust. But so far,
I feel like we're really digging deep to figure out how this Bat Rider can work, and it's just not working right now.
So we look towards Bat in the mid to late game, and he is a good hero against SF with the Blink Lasso Initiation. Goes through BKB as well, so you can cancel a BKB Requiem. So as far as like Initiator goes in the mid game, he does fit in pretty nicely to the Vici Gaming
And with
line.
Surge, it's excellent for Bat. I agree. If he gets the levels and farm, Bat will be amazing in this game, but can he get them? That's the question.
So we'll take a peek at some of these other lanes. Viper right now slightly outlasting the Shadow Fiend, but Shadow Fiend will always have those jungle stacks to fall back on. And I don't think Bat Rider's going to have the levels to be able to contest this SF stack right now. Well, he's not going to farm right now, but in the next couple of minutes when he does go for it, Bat's still going to only be, at best, level 3 perhaps. He can kill it with a level 3 if he goes for like an early smoke into the jungle, but it's just such a high-risk play to make, and something which I feel like just has a low % chance of working.
Meanwhile, top lane, Ryo already 3.5, getting close to level 4. When you compare that to Ice 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 on the Darkseer, he's not even level 3 yet. So the offlane also favoring Mineski right now. They try to potentially make a little move on mid, but Super does have that sentry. He sees Jesse Vash creeping in. They may turn on him. FI's got the dust. This could be the kill opportunity. Perhaps they finally found the trap. Dust not yet activated. They want to make sure they can secure the kill. Not even necessary. Jesse Vash will go down to the end, and FY hangs on to his precious dust. While top lane, Ryo duking it out with Burning, but getting kited a bit. Burning going back in on this, braining him down. Sleight of Fist is there. The charge through. He still gets bashed. He gets clopped again.
Got him.
Pow, right in the kisser. Now potentially a charge. Just a few seconds. He's going to TP out in Fenrir. You can't pierce 7 armor. That ain't happening. Big plays in the offlane from Ryo. Though Vici Gaming do get the first blood. Is it really worth it? when you're letting the cow get this massive.
I was kind of watching. I was like, come on, you just got to turn and fight and just hope to win that RNG battle. And he finally turns and goes for it, and then yeah, insta bash on the burning, gets rewarded.
So satisfying.
Oh yeah,
Just
that
leaves
is like
that warm and fuzzy feeling.
the offlaner's dream. I don't think he was ever actually going to die with the 4-man shield pickup. He was very tanky. Top lane Jesse Bash now.
Ryo's here in position, but he already committed the charge and then canceled it, so unable to really offer much assistance. They will lose their bounty hunter again. Has not had the biggest impact yet. It's deterring FY from farming for now, but FY, let's see, any stacks going his way? GoDz just a single double stack. But he might get a little alone time now that the bounties died again.
Yeah. And the bounty is always like this, the scare factor, where you're forcing your opponents to buy sentries, dust, and just constantly being scared of where the bounty's moving on the map. So your supports may play less greedy, they're going to stack less, they're going to jungle less in the case of the Bat Rider. So something where you can't really just measure the bounty hunter's impact by his kills and like how much like pressure he applies alone in the early game. There's a lot more that goes into it with just the economy game as well.
He's going to make another foray into the enemy woods, but he better get there soon because FY about to clear out a triple stack as well as a medium camp. Oh, he's going to be close. This is actually really big if he gets there in time. Moving forward, he sees the flames. Ah! Looks like he misses almost all the, in fact, all the big camp experience. That's unfortunate. Yep. FY now 4.5. The timing just a wee bit off. Sad yellow goblin.
It looks like SF did farm his stacks now, so no chance for Bat to go in and steal those. And Bat being level 4 at least means he can offer a bit more to the side lanes if he wants to go for rotation. You talked about how he can actually be really good with Surge, and that's where he may actually be able to rotate towards bottom lane, go for a kill or a gank opportunity there without even having the Blink Dagger. Just an Iron Shell on himself and a Surge in could cause Mineski some problems in their safe lane.
There's a haste rune now grabbed up by Jules on the silencer. Ice calmly retreats. Looks like Jesse Vatch was hoping for a courier snipe, but Vici Gaming, they're wise to the bounty hunter's tricks. They fly it over the trees. They give no opening. And now the laning stage settles down.
Breaker and a level 3 Darkseer. This is
the Bat Rider zoning potential.
Yeah.
Or lack thereof, I guess you should say.
And meanwhile, just straight up dual lane with the silencer plus qual. I mean, that's a fantastic dual lane as far as zoning out a melee offlaner goes. But Vici Gaming had 3 heroes top and couldn't pressure the Spirit Breaker out of lane. Meanwhile, 2 heroes completely bully a Darkseer out of his.
They'll start pulling through. Jules just looking to get those boots online at this point in the bottom lane. They have their Quap Bolt now, GoDz. The Shadow Fiend warming up towards the mech. What is the key timing here for Mineski? When do they look to get aggressive? Do they look to get aggressive? Uh-oh. Jesse Vatch. Looks like he may go down, but feel free to talk about all things Vici Gaming.
Well, for Vici Gaming, they're going to... Ryu doesn't get the last bat.
Ah, the jukes.
Raging Potato's going to go for a mech. So they're going to have a mech timing coming out for the Shadow Fiend as well as probably a global silence around the same time. I think they want to give Silencer a solo lane if anything.
Oh, Jesus. Ryo just going off with these bashes. What kind of second kill there as well. Ugh.
It's really time for Mineski to rotate their Quap to start ganking and give Silencer the safe lane to get his level 6, I feel. And then this will just help them transition into their Shadow Fiend mech. Then they'll get Global Silence involved. Then once Global Silence is involved, maybe they give Bounty Hunter a bit of a free lane so he can get level 6. It's all about kind of rotating through, making sure everyone gets their key items, their key levels.
Speaking of a key kill, FY, he'd be delicious right now. Jesse Vatch is going to be able to find him. Very well done. In the same moment, Cuckoo deletes Ice, running away from the lane. So he doesn't rotate, but he gets a kill, which is just as good. 4-3 now the score.
Mineski are just crushing the early game here, and as you'd kind of expect, they've got such a weak laning setup from Vici Gaming, the jungling Bat Rider being an incredibly greedy way to set things up, and they're forced to spend all this money on detection, which is not really amounted to too much. They've killed the Bounty Hunter 3 times, but I don't feel like Jesse Vatch has had a poor start. This is like the ideal start, not ideal, but this is still a strong start for a Bounty Hunter to have with the just damage and time wasting that he's kind of causing for Vici Gaming.
And this ward has done quite a bit, although FY, he's going to find it now. We'll quickly delete it with the Tango. And meanwhile, Jesse Vatch swooping through. He's gotten more wards up. The vision, definitely strong now for Mineski as they prep for a potential dive. I just can't believe how shut down Ice is. This is the worst start I've seen from a Darkseer in ages, GoDz, and it does feel like it's all about the Bat Rider. With the Bat in the jungle, Darkseer can't go there. Someone's got to be bottom. Someone's got to suffer.
Yeah, they set up these just weak lanes, and having the Queen of Pain in the safe lane with Southers, and they've been able to pull the eyesight side.
He might be dead here.
Yeah, Bounty.
Oh, coming in hot. Shuriken, not enough. Needs that auto attack right around the tower. The backpack. It's okay, but he may get the kill on the way out. Still, Jesse Vash happy with that. But Jules not happy with this. No TP. Oh, that hurts. Bought his gloves of haste.
Slightly Vici Gaming favored, but I feel like if
But they're
SF
gonna get a
gets
tower now.
Yeah. If anything, I don't actually feel like that was all that bad for Mineski. They lost 2 heroes that don't really matter. Silencer got a kill and XP for it, so steals some intel, gets close to level 6. And then the 2 supports are just creating room for Bimbo to get a tier 1 tower at mid, which is the most important tower on the map in the kind of first 15 to 20 minutes of the game. So I think Mineski overall are actually pretty happy with that.
Bat Rider is getting his farm on in the jungle. Let's see if Raging Potato can steal some of that. No, that's the other direction. Bimbo, a bit off the mark. We're going to see the Spirit Breaker Gloves of Haste out as well, GoDz. Are we going to see Midas Gaming enter the SEA fields now? Jules also looks like he may be going for one.
Oh, wow. Double Midas. Make sure you don't get too many more. It's always a bit of a risk. But this kind of secures up their late game. They have a solid start. They're farming well. SF isn't going to go for anything in the way of greedy items. Oh,
they found Ice bottom, but Burning's there looking for the trade. Has the chains. Is there sufficient damage? Oh, Blink cooling down soon. He's also got the regen rune. So Cuckoo gets away with murder, then gets out. And while that was happening, they chase down Fenrir in the mid lane. Looks like they may lose Bimbo. No, he's going to back up. Tries to hang on. There's the bash. Needs a little bit more. The charge follow-up as well, pushing him away. And Potato will survive.
These bashes. Oh my gosh, 70% continues.
Well, Ryo's having a field day here.
No.
And that was without the global, which they've just now secured.
Yep.
So that's not only your Spirit Breaker Midas, another 980 gold banked up. Jesse Vash closing in on the track. Things heating up here in the mid game for Team Mineski.
And the thing is, I don't even feel like they're going to pick up a double Midas and be like, okay, we've just got double Midas, let's sit back. Like normally it's like a team will have their captain kind of look at that and say, we can't really fight for a little bit. But for Mineski, it's going to be just the ability to fight around their ultimate. So as soon as they have Sonic Wave back up, I think they'll happily go for a smoke play, look to team fight once more, just by having Global plus Sonic Wave. Looks like they'll get Jesse Vash level 6 at top lane, so they'll have Track coming online as well. Very much heroes that can fight well based on just levels alone. So even though it's kind of like 4,000 gold spent on items that don't benefit them a whole lot, for one thing, they're 5,000–6,000 gold ahead, and just for another, they've got heroes which just scale more with levels and farm.
By the way, look at this hero ward. 3 sentries dropped in the vicinity. I think one of them was the earlier Hildy ward, but yeah, they just can't find it.
That's just the Radiant Sentry, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's blocking the camp.
Yeah, blocking the big camp. Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah. For a second, I was like, huh? What are you talking about? That's not giving vision.
I may be drunk, GoDz, but I'm not that drunk.
No.
Give me a little credit here. Come on.
That was more me being drunk. I'm like, how's this a hero ward?
We're drunk on Pinoy power right now.
Oh, yeah.
We're in the SEA backyard. Global deployed as the lasso is used, but Ryo, he's a tanky mother, and he's going to charge in onto Burning, then looks to bank away. The Crop's in position, doesn't have the ultimate just yet. Chain's coming through, that's on 2, but Jules arrives as well. Ice. What does he really offer to the team? He's level 5 of smoke. Wildly gets popped in the midst of the chaos. That's not going to save anyone. They finally lose the Space Cow, but prepare perhaps for round 2 as Cuckoo's ult is officially online. 1 for 1. FY still no blink though, GoDz. 13 minutes in.
And I think if Ice had had a better lane stage, got like he was like level 7, level 8 right now, you'd be okay without the bat having blink because you could just put a maxed out Iron Shell Surge on him. But Darkseer just doesn't have levels right now, so the team fight impact from a Darkseer is just non-existent. In the past, we've seen Ice Darkseer just wreck lanes, get early points in the wall, vacuum, go for like all these flashy solo kills, and we're seeing the exact opposite here, where he's getting just destroyed in lane. You've got a Viper who isn't exactly a comeback hero, who's the one hero that had a decent laning stage. 1, 1, and 3 has a treads drums, but not really items or a hero that's going to suddenly turn the game around. It's more of just a stable pick that when you're in like an even game, you can siege towers with. You can kind of just 5-man around, but in a game where you're behind, it's kind of useless.
Do you remember that game where IG, oh god, it was like in the TI2 era. I think they 5th picked a Bat Rider, who was like super broken at the time. Yeah. It was, I think, shortly after TI2.
As a 5th pick, though, they got it.
I want to say it was IG, and they just got destroyed because like they just got punished so hard in the laning stage. Like they had 4 or 5 like quote-unquote OP heroes, but like they were just too greedy. They all had too much in the way of farm. I forget. I think it was a Chinese Dota match. Pretty sure they were playing like LGD or DK or something similar, and I just remember them getting destroyed for it. This game slightly reminds me of that, though. Vici, they now move in with the Batrider. They have a surge. It's the Ghetto Blink initiation, and they're going to find Raging Potato, the long-range Wrangleback. But that's Bimbo, and he's tanky. They curse him up. They start turning on their Shadow Fiend. Don't kill him off. He's your friend. Not any longer. He dies before getting up the Requiem. Vici Gaming, who needs a blink? They've got FY God on the chase. Burning, leaping forward, one more Remnant. He's going to grab the triple kill, looking for additional. Now the drum's available. Cuckoo scurries away.
Only now I think Silence came up. If they had Global for that, that would have been just a lost fight for Vici Gaming. But they went in about 10 seconds before Global came back online and kind of took advantage of their small little window. Mineski do not have the hero to insta-cancel, or to prevent the Batrider from swooping in and kidnapping someone. They don't have a Rubik or like a hero with a Yule Scepter or something, and that's just where Spirit Breaker tries to charge in, but he charges into a Winter's Curse. So Vici Gaming were ready for the counter initiation.
He beat the shit out of Shadow Fiend. That really hurt.
And that's just where Mineski have to be a little bit more cautious with when they go for those kind of pushes. As far ahead as they are, they need a fight around Global. And, well, Jules is caught out. Burning has been instrumental in Vici
Well, at least he
Gaming's
didn't pop
turnaround.
the Global. Yeah, Emperor Spear, definitely not what I would consider an iconic Burning hero, but doing a good job here, GoDz. He had a rather tough lane with the Spirit Breaker and just general lack of support. Wyvern definitely struggles to harass against someone who's so tanky, but Burning doing a good job of getting his team back in this game. And now that the Global's up, unfortunately, around that moment, FY will also complete a blink.
I think you can still go for a push if you Global as soon as he gets lassoed, because they can't kill him solely based off of the blink lasso. Like, if you have Firefly damage, you'll be pulling him out of position, but it should be... He's tanky enough, and the Spirit Breaker can charge him without getting, like, Winter's Cursed, and charge plus Global Silence is one of the better combos to have with a Spirit Breaker. So I think all in all, 5-manning around the Global Silence can still work for Mineski, even into the Blink Batrider.
Seems they do want to go for it. Grouping up bottom lane, Sanjin Yasha about to be completed here. Bimbo just needing that last component, the Band of Elven Skin.
Now it just comes down to, it's a game of execution. How quick and timely does the Global Silence come out? Do you prevent like a Viper Strike? Do you get it off before like a Searing Change, the Winter's Curse?
Surge, FY jumping forward. Where's that Global Silence? It's a bit late. They do focus Bimbo. He gets off the mech though, and this could be enough to turn the fight around. Requiem, at least they get it off this time. FY dropping low, massive nuke damage coming out for the Shadow Fiend, but he hasn't finished anyone just yet. Fenrir will drop. That's 2 down. Ryo, still healthy, could go for an additional kill. The rest of the team backing off. Looks like Cuckoo barely finished his Burning. Will deploy a Remnant on the way out. Super, just kind of standing and watching. Mineski coming out on top there. They will take the fight
got
for
cursed, and after surviving the curse, blinked forward rather than back to safety just to try and bring down Burning's Ember, and Burning just like tanked up the Scream. I think he had Flame Guard up or had 1 charges, but Cuckoo made a big misplay there. It could have been a simple 2 for 0, and instead he tried to go for the big flashy play and secure that 3rd kill.
And you know, it looks like it's a slightly Mineski favored fight in terms of the 2 for 1, but they blew the Global for that. Now Vici have a big window. None of their cooldowns are that bad.
Yeah, that's the 2 big ultimates they have to play around, both on cooldown. They lose a Quap for mostly supports, Fenrir as well as Ice Darkseer, who isn't really...
Honestly, is a support Darkseer. He's poorer than FY.
Kind of. Not going to disagree with that.
Fortunately, he's a useful support. Surging Batrider is always pretty good, but
so
support nonetheless.
Mineski not going to be thrilled about that. They also don't get the tier 1 tower, so they're going to be forced to solve things out here. The Queen of Pain picks up an Orchid, so as soon as the Sonic Wave as well as Global come back up, I think Mineski will be very keen to fight based on this item timing. SF completed Sanjin Yasha, so around the board they're looking pretty solid. Even like supports, like, well, Ryu not a support, but offlane is getting ridiculous farm now with Treads, Ogre Club, Midas. Should see a fairly good time on his BKB.
Cuckoo jumps in on mid now, clear out the wave. Mineski, when do they make that move? Global's about to cool down. Roughly 15 seconds here and counting. They all cluster up behind the tower. Seems right now Mineski expecting some sort of smoke play. And in fact, Vici, what do you know? They are smoking. They're swinging towards bottom. FY will wind his way through the trees, prepping for an ambush.
I'm not sure he wants to go in quite yet. It looks like Darkseer still needs to just heal up a bit, but...
Oh, they're smoking maybe towards mid. No, they've seen Super. Now they want to go. FY's waiting in reserve, but is he really going to be able to make the difference? Jesse Vash, he wasn't shadow walked. His smoke just broke casually in front of FY, who's going to run away. Oh, that's a blunder.
He suddenly realized, like, wait a second.
It's one of the, I think he sees himself smoked, and he's like, I'm in Viz. Oh, wait. I'm not really in Viz. That was easily avoidable. So a missed opportunity here for Mineski.
Firefly on cooldown, so I think free tier 1 tower now. You really want to have the Firefly for when you engage.
Sloppy, but they'll still get the tower for free. So what's the game plan, GoDz? Burning now, Boots of Travel up, building towards his Manta, it looks like. Mineski seems like they want to 5-man a bit more.
Yeah, Mineski are the ones in the driver's seat. They kind of dictate how play develops. If there's going to be a push or a Roshan fight, it's going to come from Mineski being the aggressors or the one decide. Like, they dictate play right now. Vici Gaming can only react to what they see. Even if they're going for a smoke, it's trying to like catch out Mineski going for an aggressive play.
Oh, they did see Super moving up, and they pop the Invisor. Now looking for the Requiem, but gets interrupted by Flame Break. The Requiem finally coming out. Not really the most damage, but Ice 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 quickly brought low. Now the Curse. It's on 3. Cuckoo eviscerated. They're going to lasso back the Shadow Feed. Raging Potato needs your help. He's not getting it. He's trying to fight 3 on his own, while Burning fights 3 as well. But Burning's the one winning his 1v3. The Shadow Friend, the one losing his. And in the end, only Jesse Vash able to limp away. Aside from Ryo and the Spirit Breaker, just an amazing curse and an very unfortunate Flame Break on an Invis Shadow Fiend.
They just didn't quite execute that. The Requiem didn't do enough damage. They needed to really hit like a max damage Requiem on someone like the Viper with the Nether Strike to push him back in if they want to try and lead the fight that way. And also they use the Global Silence, so using the Global Silence to go on the Viper who you don't even kill meant once the real fight broke out, they were in all sorts of trouble. Another great Winter's Curse, and again, Vici Gaming just repel Mineski.
Burning now, Yasha Richer, and working towards his Manta style.
It just doesn't feel like they're using their spells to like the full capacity. Even stuff like the Orchid, you want to be trying to find out either Winter Wyvern or even potentially the Darkseer with it. Ember's a great target if he's solo farming, but in a team fight like that, you need to take out either the Vacuum Wall or take out the Winter's Curse. I think Wyvern is the ideal target for Queen of Pain to go on there. You want to try and hit the Wyvern with the Sonic Wave, Scream with an Orchid, while hitting his teammates with the Sonic Wave as well. But because the Viper initially, he lived the entire fight, but he kind of didn't take enough damage from Requiem, I think Cuckoo felt pressured to Sonic Wave the Viper and try to finish off that kill.
They're going to deward a bit around the Roshan pit. Remember, before Mineski went for that fight, they were making their moves there. Looking like they wanted that big objective as Jules will get trapped, caught out in the bottom lane. Didn't even need a lasso for that. Burning just runs him down. And it seems this run and shoot Dota is what Vici Gaming want to engage into now. They'll keep a Remnant in the pit, so no shenanigans for Mineski. Then they'll push. Despite what looked like a pretty pitiful laning stage, GoDz, Vici Gaming taking advantage of mispositioning for Mineski and good initiation. They find themselves almost back to dead even.
And this is the point where that things have stabilized, so for Vici Gaming, the support Batrider pick really pays off because you've got a 4-position support which is one of the best mid to late game kind of tempo controllers / initiators you could hope for. And on top of that, you've got a Darkseer as your kind of offlaner, so you've got 2 big teamfight heroes.
Burning, who's he going to go for? It looks like Jesse Vash, the unlucky casualty of war, but maybe not the only one as Burning hunts under Ryo, has the charge available. Chains will interrupt the charge cast. Still hanging onto it, but this last Fenrir to get in position. The curse will come out. They may lose Ryo as well with 4 heroes surrounding him and burning him down, and it will be FY who gets the last hit. That's the 4-staff complete. Jungle Batrider, not the fastest 4-staff, but considering he went purely jungle, FY in great position now to continue to take over this game.
Oh yeah, this is suddenly kind of piecing together for Vici Gaming, all starting from that very first hold at bottom lane with the Surge Batrider in before he even had a Blink Dagger and the Global Silence was on cooldown. That was, to me, the big turning point so far. Mineski's still in this game with a slight lead. They've got Midases as well to play the farm battle with.
Oh no.
Oh, that was
smoked
spotted.
under a ward.
Yikes.
Game was hard.
Yeah, FY just gonna get out or even...
Oh no, are they going Roche? Vici's gonna see that they haven't showed up.
Yeah, they should scout this, I believe.
Well, do they? How long do they wait before, like, okay, this smoke is into the Roche pit?
I think they're gonna be too late, it seems. They're waiting too long. Bat actually TP'd back to Fountain with Firefly on cooldown.
I really think they expect an actual gank.
Yeah. that happened a bit too fast for Vici Gaming to react to.
Well, actually the ward's working out okay. Makes Vici Gaming extra afraid, so they play defense, and Mineski snagging Aegis. Still Bimbo atop that net worth chart, building towards a BKB though. You look at the control they have, it's not like a Shadow Fiend BKB is a game-winning item here. Still got lots of lockdown for him.
Oh yeah. And like moving towards the late game, Queen of Pain will go for a BKB as well, so Mineski's next big timing will come from having the double BKBs on Queen of Pain as well as Shadow Fiend. If they can get those two with an Aegis as well, then they're going to be exceptionally strong and could likely just take out a couple of tier 2 towers on the map. We're not going to see anyone go high ground anytime soon, but there is, on the Mineski side, a lot of potential for things to kind of just click together at the right time and kind of lead into what was once their 5k gold lead being kind of returned. A lot of it comes down to how Vici Gaming deal with it, and I think at least kind of the temporary plan is just to split push and keep lanes pushed out as much as possible and only fight once Mineski get to your towers.
Man, that is a late pair of Tranquil Boots. 25 minutes, Jesse Vance will snap them up. It's better late than never. Remember with the Manta now, so has a solution for at least one of the silences, but potentially the second one could still do him in. Still, he's tanky. I feel like he's not actually that easy to kill, even if you silence him.
And not seeing anything like a SF Blink Dagger for the Requiem positioning, that could maybe lead to a kill on someone like Ember.
Found Ryo, top lane. That great start Spirit Breaker had long since gone. 2 and 4. While that was happening, though, Bimbo continues to heat up. They'll take down Fenrir's Wyvern. Mineski striking back, but in danger of losing this top tower. And let me ask you guys, how much of a problem do you feel the Ember is this game? Is this something Mineski can handle late, or is this like the dream Ember game where he just can crush everyone if he gets enough farm?
It's pretty damn good right now. He's already hit the Manta against Silencer as well as Queen of Pain. So these two heroes can be a lot less effective. Even though you can force out a Manta and then re-silence, it's not really... He's going to Manta out of a silence and then just Remnant away if he's in a bad position, or if he's in a team fight and he's tanky as you kind of mentioned, he can just Manta out of the silence and then slight Searing Chains, play aggressive. If he gets silenced again, he can just walk out of there often.
They lasso Jules, dragging him back into all kinds of fire.
And this is the other big problem with the silencer. He's constantly getting jumped. He's incredibly squishy, very vulnerable. He has to position himself outside of a fight. And that means all he's really offering is going to be a global silence, and then that's that. There's not going to be... If he's trying to be in the front, getting off last word, getting off glaives, he's going to be getting just destroyed, as we just saw.
BKB now has arrived on Queen of Pain. You mentioned this, the double timing that could come. They've reached it. I'm thinking about another strike on Super, but they see the Wyvern sitting back. But Super is rather tanky with the Manta. So hang on. It's actually going to be a triple BKB. Ryo also closing on his, and they do charge Burning. It seems he knows. He's booking it. Should be able to chains and stop this charge. Slight chains, and away he goes.
Oh.
Just not the easiest here to gank as a Spirit Breaker.
Yeah. And this style lineup, not bad. Definitely not bad against the Spirit Breaker. And Ryu, despite the great start he had, has slowed down fairly significantly with his item progression, just his impact on this game. Hit like incredibly fast level 11 with the Midas, Treads, Ogre Club, and doesn't really feel like he's progressed since then. The BKB just started to come up, so it's not just the double BKB, it's going to be a third with Spirit Breaker as well completing one.
Yes, sirree.
And if triple BKB is not the time to go for a smoke, I don't know when is for Mineski. Need to be careful not to smoke under this same Observer Ward, but...
And look at all the sentries they dropped. They again, it's this time it's Mineski's turn, but the desperate D-Ward attempts being foiled for them, as we saw earlier for Vici Gaming. Shadow Fiend walks in bottom lane. Says hello to the Ember. Cuckoo trying for the Blink Orchid, but now you see Burning, now you don't. Just jolts away.
Yeah. And
they're going to smoke.
Vici themselves, yeah. Smoke on smoke, it seems. Hello, no. Vici Gaming don't seem to have one, and they're looping around, but they will be walking past these Observer Wards, one of which they narrowly missed with the Sentry.
How many missed D-Wards have there been this game? This is getting ridiculous. Both teams just juking each other.
So they swung mid, then they smoked. I think they actually may have been spotted by this Radiant Ward. They were very close to it, at least.
Doubling back. Iron Shell deployed. Super very nearly being revealed. Now Ice is going to breach up the high ground. He squirrels into the trees. He'll make it out. And Mineski keep on pushing. They want someone to come and defend.
Well,
Vici.
they're gonna have to go and
know
defend.
that they're coming from behind now. Like, there's just nobody home. Guys, anybody there? Can we come in? Can we come in? F4 says no. He's in Viz. He gets up the lasso. Raging Potato. Then the global comes to counter initiate Cuckoo. Trying to focus down Fenrir. Does not want that Winter's Curse to interrupt this fight. Ryo will chase him down. Raging Potato now popping the BKB. Looking for the Requiem here. Nothing to stop it, it seems. Ice bashed and pushed back again. They'll get a secondary kill. Burning on the run. Just going to watch his flight. Manta Ray be chewed up as Mineski chase even further. There is a chains available. No, he gets silence. Burning and the chains on cooldown. He may die as well. It's a triple for Cuckoo. Mineski come in, and they beat down the front door. And now, looking for a lane of racks out of nowhere. But double buyback says, get the hell out.
Yeah. And there's the swing Mineski been hoping for. The triple BKB. They get all their key items. They take a team fight immediately. And those BKBs just do so much. Ryu should be chased down here. Another surge coming up soon. He has a charge, though. Suddenly, Ryu, charge top. No? Okay, guess
Ends
not.
up dying to the Anshell.
Yeah, could
I got confused when he said charge top. I was like, wait, is someone getting
No, I'm saying
charged
he should have just
Yeah,
charged.
yeah,
Those creeps top he could have selected, but
Yeah, he might have died anyway to the Ion Shell. It was pretty close.
either way, Mineski going to be thrilled with how that went. Double buybacks forced out. Darkseer and Viper, they kill off Burning's Ember Spirit. He's still got no actual DPS item. The Manta Style gives you a tiny little bit, but ideally you're looking at the Battle Fury, the Daedalus, as those key mid to late game DPS items for Ember Spirit.
Yeah, Bimbo working on the Butterfly now. 3,400 gold. He's almost got it.
Radiant's middle tower
Butterfly,
is
pretty
under
big
attack.
grab this game up against the Viper and an Ember, and especially an Ember who's tickling at this
Yeah.
point. Burning does not really have the DPS as of yet.
Well, it's going to be a long time before any kind of an MKB pickup can happen. Ember's, that's normally like a 4th item for an Ember. After, when you have to go Manta, you have to get Manta, Battle Fury, Daedalus, and then you consider MKB. Because of how...
Sometimes I've seen players skip the early Daedalus.
And because of how fast the evasions come up, I think we likely could see Burning go for like a Battle Fury into MKB as a result. But does mean that he's just not going to be quite as potent as and not have the same DPS as you normally do with that 3-item setup. The Battle Fury, Manta, Daedalus does a lot more damage than an MKB, but against the SF, who is going to be a big frontline problem, if Mineski grab themselves another Aegis, suddenly you're looking at your high ground being sieged, and you need to have ways to DPS that frontliner, which is going to be an SF with the Sleight of Fist spam.
Hey, Burning. Stay a while. Nah, that's okay,
No,
guys.
what's
I'm
going
out.
on.
No, he's going to dodge away from that gank, but the pressure is here. And we do see the power of Bounty Hunter as a scout for his Pal Spirit Breaker. BKB was complete on Ryo. He used the first charge already. Now the Butterfly out.
Radiant's
So
bottom
Mineski
tower
continue to pile up the mid-game items and even starting to gear up for the late game a little bit.
Yeah.
Still, though, Vici not quite in
Radiant's
danger of
bottom
losing a lane of
tower is
racks.
under attack.
Yeah, and Vici still have that scary team fight. Particularly scary if you're going for a high ground push, when you've got a Vacuum, Winter's Curse combo happening around the around like a choke point going up the base. Ember, I feel, definitely will be looking for a Battle Fury, probably as his next item, just because it does synergize well with the Vacuum as well. And
You have to get Battle Fury.
for F1 in the Batrider, he's been very quiet since getting this 4-staff. He had a kind of good stage of the game around 10 to 20 minutes, but the last 10 minutes or so has not been... I mean, for Vici Gaming, it's just been like a passive farming time where they've not got their core items that Mineski have with the triple BKB, so they're forced to just play this slower pace, which is not really what the Batrider wants right now. Same for the Viper. You don't want to just go back and fall into a farming game as a Viper. You don't have a Midas or anything. You aren't really going to be a big threat to Shadow Fiend or Queen of Pain in the late game as well.
Yeah, this is not your limp style Viper where he goes for more of that hard carry or at least scaling late gamer. Super has been a selfless teammate, but the result, of course, is that he's a wee bit poor, sitting just around even with the net worth of a Spirit Breaker. If a cow's as rich as you know you got issues.
Well, that cow's about to get a bit richer as money coming his way from Roshan, and this is going to be interesting to see how Mineski look to play with this one. We've seen them rush into things a bit. This game it was at the tier 1 tower where they tried to force things too much. In past games they've had advantages which they've thrown away, and this Aegis, as much as it makes him a lot stronger and gives the SF on the front lines that second life, which is great for sieging high ground with, he's got to be careful at how he plays it. If he takes too much chip damage, like you throw a Viper Strike, you spam him with some napalms, you flame break him a bit into the base, suddenly you're seeing your SF Aegis popping, forced to pop his BKB defensively in the enemy base, and Mineski in a terrible position. So Mineski, I don't know if they're going to decide that they're likely going to look to at least take tier 2 towers and apply some pressure, but going like all in for a high ground push is a very risky proposition against Vici Gaming right now.
Burning. That'll be okay, but pressure definitely there. We see a bit of a ward exchange happening towards the mid lane.
Yeah, FY with Gem now, so you got that detection and will help against the Bounty Hunter, of course, as well as the dewarding aspect.
Yeah, as much as anything, just keeping Mineski in the dark when they want to siege is going to be nice. No high ground wards, hopefully no pesky vision inside your base. But around this moment, Vici Gaming grab what could be a huge item. They get the Blink Dagger on Darkseer, who does have a level 4 back. And now the Lassos come out. They're drinking Ryo of all heroes way behind enemy lines. It's only the Spirit Breaker. The Nice Ice commits forward. Bimbo was dropped fairly low, but has the Aegis still, and he runs in. Flutter on cooldown. He's gone in too far. Bimbo going to lose the Aegis for naught. Zilch, nada, and they've got a Winter's Curse. He needs help. He needs it now. Save the potato. Save him. Cursed, held in position for ages. Bimbo hangs on. I'll let the Requiem go. He's going to run right back through the wall and scurry away. Ryo now charging in, but gets interrupted by a nice Searing Chains and will drop in the end. So they've lost Ryo. They've lost their Aegis. They've expended the global. And Mineski are getting routed. Forced back in the end. Cuckoo also going to die. It's an extra hero down and the full team in headlong retreat. Aegis down. 2 heroes popped. Mineski completely botched the high ground.
Their decision making in these key pushes and in these late game scenarios is just their biggest weak point. That's where they've really suffered. They really struggle. It just feels like they need that sensible voice in their team or whatever it may be just to tell them when to back, how to go. Cuckoo really feels like he needs a leash on him at times. He just gets way too aggressive with some of these plays. That was a blink forward again while he's BKB'd. He kills the Darkseer. Like, he makes a really good play at the start of that fight. He isolates Darkseer, kills him with the Orchid, and then he follows up the Darkseer kill with a high ground blink.
Into 4 heroes when the team's back. Shadow Fiend has no Aegis. Global's already been used.
They're not on the same page in
I was
fights.
like, is there a disruptor in this game? Because all of a sudden Queen of Pain is just in the middle of the enemy base. I thought he got glimpsed back for it. No. You know, it's just like, what's going on here?
Their team fight is...
and that was a good start to the fight. They blew the lasso on a Spirit Breaker who didn't even die. That's like the dream way to open up the base initiation if you're Mineski.
So Mineski will be repelled. It's not a huge gold gain for Vici. It doesn't even look like a gold gain at all for Vici Gaming holding there. It was mostly the fact they take out an Aegis. They do get the kill on the Queen of Pain as well, but a 1 for 2 trade, I believe.
1 for 2 and an Aegis.
Yeah, so 1 for 2 and an Aegis.
So Vici Gaming win as far as the numbers game goes, but they did take down the tower, so that somewhat equalizes the gold at least.
The gold exchange was pretty much like something you couldn't even notice. So Mineski will fall back, keep on farming. They maintain their lead. That's the thing here. They're still Mineski with the lead, but they've got to polish up their play if they want to be able to break through and take the high ground.
Burning getting charged. Doesn't have the best vision. Will get caught out by this. The Nether Strike comes through. Do they have the damage? He remnants one way. He jumps the other, but that last auto attack finds him mid-leap. And Burning will explode.
I guess just a tier 2 for the top if they want it now without the buyback.
Yeah, perhaps more importantly, delaying his item progression, though. Burning only with the Battle Fury. Still needing that big damage item to hold the base.
And I still really like Mineski's late game. We've got SF Quap, a Spirit Breaker who's farmed with a BKB, Solar Crest on the Bounty Hunter, so he's itemized in a very safe way, such that he's guaranteed to have an impact just putting a Solar Crest on the Shadow Fiend in the front lines. They've got the Vlad's Aura coming out as well from Spirit Breaker. Silencer's going to scale well. Has the Midas, so that guarantees that Jules can progress with his items if this game goes 50, 60 minutes. So we'll see not just the Glimmer Cape, but eventually a Refresher Orb if it goes long. So very much Mineski, to me, still have the better lineup. They're just not refined. They need to just play the better team fights. Their communication has to be stepped up if they want to be able to take this game.
But they still have a lot of room to grow, as you're mentioning. The Assault Cuirass, perhaps the next pickup here for Ryo. We'll see what he wants to go for. And Jesse Vash, some sort of utility item. They even get a Quap. Scythe the Vice.
Yep.
And there's still a good 2-3 slots on most of their heroes. Even Bimbo could get BOTs, replace the SNY, and then get 2 more items on top of what he's already got. So definitely not kitted out yet, GoDz.
Yeah.
And they've got track gold.
So yeah, they're continuing to farm with the help of that. On the dire side, you are looking at 4 cores going into the late game though. So you've got Batrider as well as Darkseer both sitting on 10k plus net worth, whereas the Mineski side have kind of 2 really true supports.
That's interesting. The team with the track gold and the Midases is the team that's got the 2 really poor heroes. But
yeah,
I suppose when your potato is just a vacuum cleaner, sucking up everything, there's not much left for the plebs.
Yep. For Vici Gaming, it's been much more even farm distribution. You've got Batrider, who doesn't have any issues farming jungle. He's actually one of the best heroes they have for pushing lanes. Viper is actually not going to really be able to power farm, so if anything, you don't want Viper pushing out lanes just because it's not that fast, it's not efficient. Darkseer will always get farmed because he can also push out lanes.
Well, what's he going to do then? Viper, I mean, he can't really gank. He's not going to solo a Roshan for them.
He's
not pushing.
He's going to just run on in when the push comes their
Stand
way.
there and look ugly.
Yep, that too. Viper's best asset.
Him and Slardar, what a couple. Can you imagine the children they would make? Horrifying. Simply horrifying.
All you need is some like Razor genes in there, and you have a horrifying, most
the
boring,
trifecta of boring,
ugly heroes.
Maybe Lich gets involved if there's some swingers, you know. Ugh, the horror.
Maybe procreation in the Dota universe involves more than 2 heroes. Who knows? All kinds of weird. Who says procreation is a thing between 2 people? LD, you know, that's the thing of the earth.
Yes, not of Dota.
Not of Dota.
Dota is special.
All right, so Mineski actually going on the aggressive here. They've got the Satanic for SF. He's got a lot more durability.
This could be big. The global comes out. Now the Nether Strike back on to Fenrir. They decide not to go for super, and they're trying to run Fenrir down, but they need more help. There's the bash. Cuckoo will secure the kill. BKBs are starting to wear off now. They may need to retreat on elsewhere on the other side of the fight. Jules will go down, and now the rest of the team being forced back a bit. Requiem was saved, reserved through this. Vici Gaming, though, they want to fight. They've got a lasso ready. Nether Strike available as well, and they're going to catch out Jesse Vash. The charge comes through, only onto super. Is this enough damage, though? Jesse Vash slowly being hacked down by Burning. The Flame Guard going to finish the job, and now he jumps even deeper. He wants Cuckoo as well. Burning, he's heating up. He's going to get another kill. It's going to be all up to Mr. Potato. He is damn tanky, damn hard to kill. As Ryo dives onto Ice. They can't stop him in time. A 4 for 3. An Ultra for Burning. Suddenly, oh, give him a free MKB, gods. The Requiem, a futile effort. Don't even think it debuffed Vici there. Barely clipped the Batrider. No, that was the presence of the Dark Lord, not even. And he keeps on running in. He may die for this.
Yeah, he's got
Satanic,
but he's
but
got
is
to
he going
find
to
a way
get to
to use
auto-attack?
it.
Desperately farm at the creep still. They can go in again, and guess what? They've got a Winter's Curse because Burning has allowed this, or rather, this fight has gone on so long that they've gotten Fenrir back, so they're going to lose the Raging Potato sooner rather than later. It's a team wipe. It is officially a freaking rampage for Burning. They just gave this guy 6,000 gold. We don't get the full team fight recap, but that was about 6,000 gold.
Mineski's team fights is just some questionable stuff right now. It's tough to watch because Mineski did like strategically, like individual play-wise, they've done everything right. They've won their lanes, had the the right kind of draft. They outdrafted the hell out of Vici Gaming. They just. I don't even want to say it's choking. It's very much just seems to be largely a communication thing where one hero is backing off while another goes in, and they're just they're never really on the same page in these important team fights where they're grouped up deep in the enemy base. And
they start the fight there. I believe they global. They jump the Viper.
Yep.
They start focusing him down. Then the Spirit Breaker, the Queen of Pain are like, screw that. We want the Wyvern. They run to the north. The rest of the team, the Silencer and was it the Bounty Hunter? I think they were being just punished by Burning on the backside.
they split up a lot as a result.
They didn't focus anyone down during global.
Yeah, trying to focus Wyverns, like, that's a good hero to take out the Winter's Curse, but it took them so long to kill Wyvern. They had to chase so far. That should be an easy kill with a Nether Strike plus Sonic Wave. That should just straight up be an easy kill.
Now, Ember Spirit in the zone.
Yeah, he's farmed. Suddenly, Daedalus, Battlefield,
Gonna get a tower. Yeah, that's another 3k gold. Thank you very much. I'll take that.
MKB is now only, what, like 2.5k gold off, so Burning will have his kind of perfect late game item.
And it's not
in no time at all.
They do have the lockdown. Like, if they can combine the Hex with the Nether Strike, with the Global, everyone gets off their BKBs. They have the lockdown to get that kill, but that's also assuming Vici don't interrupt it. FY at this point could potentially have, well, it looks like maybe building towards the Lotus Orb, we'll see, or potentially Shiva's, but could have a BKB if you wanted to build towards it. And, of course, the Winter's Curse if you don't finish someone during the global. Ryo, though, they want to interrupt this Roche fight. He's going to jump in. He commits another strike onto FY, gets the bash follow-up, and then decides, I want to run But I'm not sure Vici Gaming are going to have any of this. They come back here, Ryo. How dare you? You've insulted our friends. And you will pay. BKB or not, Burning is suddenly wicked sick. 16-4-9. Half of his kills coming in what feels like the last 3 minutes.
Yeah. And Burning playing a more kind of carry style Emberspirit this game, much more, I guess, what Burning as a player is kind of used to doing. And his team just had, it wasn't even like a playstyle thing by choice. He was forced to play this way just because of the bad start that Vici Gaming had. And
he's got like 6 kills and 2 towers as well as a Roshan in a matter of 3 minutes.
And
just ugly.
Mineski now may be in some trouble themselves as far as defending their high ground goes.
Rainbow cursed right before he can get up the Satanic, dropping fairly low during this time. They try to keep him alive. They will be successful. Ice is overextended, but that slight damage assassinates Cuckoo. They hold Burning in position for now. Another strike there. Great Cold Embrace to keep him alive. They simply don't have the magic damage yet. Requiem, will it be enough? They push it back, Slight, and smack. They lose Burning, but it's okay. He's got Aegis, a triple again. He's gotten like 10 kills in the past 5 to 6 minutes, and he's yet to die. Another 5.3k gold. They've got an Ember Spirit problem.
He's just got absurd farm now. Demon Edge picked up. He's going back in.
This is potentially the end of the game here. It's a dieback from the Shadow Fiend. 120 seconds on the sidelines. And with this loss, Mineski, Olatskad, the road ends here.
They've played some good Dota. They've been very competitive. They've taken it the distance against some of the toughest teams here. They had the much harder group. They had close games against virtus.pro, against Liquid, and now we're seeing just game 1 against Vici Gaming. Very tight. A game Mineski really should have won, and I feel like that's not the first time we're saying that, where Mineski get a lead. There was a game against virtus.pro where they had a pretty convincing...
They straight up threw that game.
And this, to me, I mean, not really a complete throw, but very much just poor execution, really bad team fighting. Vici Gaming, I mean, overall played pretty well, but I don't even, like, often you say, okay, yes, the team maybe made some mistakes, but the other team just played insane. I don't feel like Vici Gaming did anything insane to turn this game around. It was very much just burning on Ember Spirit.
They were kind of given the game
back.
But then
it's
a worry for Mineski at the same time. When are they going to start consistently closing games out?
Hopefully at Frankfurt. This is the big first test for this lamp on an international scale, so very much trying to work out the kinks, and it's good that Mineski go through Nanyang before they had to go to Frankfurt. So they get some practice against the top international teams, and they also just kind of get to really feel like what it's going to be like playing on the big stage.
Because at this point, you look at the tape on Mineski, they really seem to struggle in these longer games to just finish the game.
Yep.
And they're going to be tested. Teams are seeing Mineski maybe doesn't choke, but just doesn't win these long games very often. Just take them late every game and force them to dive, to chase, to try and close it out. They're going to have to find a way to tighten up the ship a little bit moving forward, it seems.
Yeah, absolutely. They have a few things to work out overall. I think they need to have like more maybe clear in-game leadership when they get to those late game stages, to have like everyone on the same page, use their smokes a bit better, just kind of coordinate who's leading the way, who's going to follow up, all of that stuff. But they've as far as the basics go, this is a top team. They're fighting with Vici Gaming, Liquid, C-Deck, whoever it may be, taking games off of C-Deck on the opening day. So they're getting wins, but they need to do so more consistently.
All right, well, with that, Mineski, I believe, knocked out at this point no matter what?
Yes, at most they can get 2 points, which is still going to be less than anyone in their group.
All right, well, with that, the demise of Mineski, they probably will play this next game at least, but it's a tough road for them from here. So over to the panel. Let's see what they think.
Thank you so much, David and David. Here we are at the panel. I'm joined again from Winter and Shiver, and, well, firstly, condolences to Mineski. Their journey here for the Nanyang Championship will conclude. This next match is still very important to Vici Gaming, but talking about game number 1, we were convinced that that was going to be Mineski's game. It felt like almost overconfidence, maybe a touch of arrogance, them pulling out the FY Batrider there. He couldn't seem to find his groove, and Mineski were taking control of very farm Shadow Fiend, but they couldn't quite close it out. And once it got to that huge 42-minute fight, Burning coming in, getting the rampage, they had ideal positioning, and things began to crumble for Mineski. Really, what was it about Winter that things just seemed to go a bit awry for him?
I think they didn't execute as well with their strategy. I think there were a few times the silencer popped his ultimate a little too late, and Cuckoo was obviously overextending in a few fights that resulted in his death. SF was really farm. I agree. He was really, really farm. But he needed to rely on his team to lock down targets so that he can finish heroes off. He needed to rely on his team. when everyone is just dropping their ultimates on him. Batrider is out just lassoing him. Winter's Curse is always on him. Viper Shark is always on him, and the Vacuum Wall as well. So he needed his team to actually help him actually kill everyone, even though he was so farmed. So I felt like the execution as a team for Mineski were lacking in all those key moments when they were going to finish off the game.
Yeah, they did have some really strong fights. For example, the fight on bot lane where, I mean, Darkseer Wall kind of whiffed slightly, but that was the timing where they just had 3 BKBs up, they fought, they won, forced out 2 buybacks, so, you know, they did get something out of that. But I guess from that point onward, they kind of needed to continue to pressure to make sure that, well, mostly Burning didn't get a single moment of breathing time, and he did. And at some point, the fight where they could chase into the jungle of the Dire team, Burning wraps around, caught out Cuckoo as well, killed him, killed Bounty Hunter, and that just turned everything around.
And Burning gets to finish with a very impressive 19-4 record on his Ember Spirit.
Yep.
The FY Batrider wasn't enough for me to be convinced that we might be seeing it again, but hopefully they take that as a lesson that game almost got away from them.
You don't even really do that against a Bounty Hunter. It's not like they picked the Bounty Hunter because they knew they were going to do Batrider. It was like they already saw the the Bounty Hunter pick, but they still wanted to go for the jungling Batrider, which I was actually thinking maybe they wanted to do dual lanes with Darkseid, but they actually just straight up ran a
they
jungling
were successful though with the first he turned level 6, right? FI turned level 6.
But
so normally
his
when
dagger
you're
was so slow though. Don't you think it's not worth it? His dagger was so slow.
Yeah, but he got surged. He used surge instead of dagger. I believe the commentators called it a poor man's dagger.
Oh yeah.
And they did get a kill with that. With the first time he grabbed someone, they did make sure that, you know, they made it work.
It's still not ideal though.
It's not ideal, but I kind of like it. And in the later portions of the game, you do have that initiation, which, I mean, they didn't really have that much on the other side. I mean, you've got the Darkseer, obviously.
Yeah, that's why they were also under a lot of pressure in the early laning phase because they had a jungling hero. It's a very good example, this game, why teams are not using jungling heroes, because it just makes your lanes very susceptible to ganks and pressure. That's why they were like falling behind at the start, because they had a jungling hero.
True.
So with that will conclude game number 1 now of Mineski going to Vici Gaming. But we're not done yet. It is a best of 2 after all. So we'll cut to a small break, and when we come back, we'll see if Vici Gaming will get themselves to the top of their group. And we'll see you soon.